stables, the gallop of his stallions across the horizon, the candid laughter he shares with falcons perched upon gloved wrists, and, above all, the poems that spill straight from His Highness's ink-drenched heart. Tonight we gather beneath virtual chandeliers of starlight to breathe in a brand new confession. A flaming scroll he has titled I Have No Other Option. Prepare to let its embers drift into your veins, warm your doubts, and guide you through corridors where duty and love collide in silken hush. My beloved, you were a crescent on my horizon long before dawn learned my name, and yet I chased you past the boundaries carved by lineage and protocol. My pulse thundering like hooves over Bedouin sands. Each step drew the desert tighter around us, whispering that a crown's shadow can never eclipse the sun in your eyes, that the sweetest pomegranate is still forbidden if it grows beyond the palace wall. I signed letters with salt, folded them into falcon feathers, and watched the birds soar toward you, convinced that somewhere between their wings I would discover permission, yet every return flight carried a silence heavier than gold bullion resting on my chest. I sought counsel in the majlis of moonlight where ancestors sit cross-legged in memory, their voices woven through incense, reciting verses about courage that tastes of flame. They warned me that a ruler's love is a rare pearl pressed by centuries of etiquette. Still I answered them with trembling resolve, even pearls must surface when the ocean storms. But law is a more relentless tide than any weather, and it dragged me back to marble floors polished with centuries of yes your highness and duty before desire. In the hush of turquoise dawn, I wrapped your name around my wrist like a secret rosary, each syllable a bead of longing I could never give up. I knelt beside the reflecting pool where doves drink and promised my own mirrored eyes that I would not break, though every droplet mirrored your smile beyond reach. Pigeons fluttered upward, startled by the crack in my voice, scattering prayers into a sky that never forgets. Their wings spelled your initials in arabesque spirals before dissolving into the horizon, proof that the heavens, too, rehearse my dilemma. The courtiers parade masks of good intention, reminding me of alliances older than my birth certificate, sketching pedigrees across parchment like cartographers of obligation. They speak of treaties sealed with sand-cooled crescents, of cousins waiting in gilt-edged corridors, of dynasties stitched together by arranged sunsets. I nod because a prince must nod, yet my pulse writes contradicting poetry against my collar, for beats repeating your name as if it were the nation's anthem. I have no other option, beloved, because choosing against the current is not rebellion but survival, my heart's primal desert fox digging tunnels beneath watchful eyes. When I ride Al-Sakran across the open plateau, the wind tattoos your laughter on my cheeks, reminding me that even if I gallop to the ends of Rub al-Khali, the mirage I crave will still shimmer just out of reach. An oasis offers water, but your memory offers reason to thirst. I drink the absence until it spills down my throat like liquid starlight. Do you hear my call braided into the muezzin's dawn recital? It mingles with praise yet carries a single human plea. Let duty unclench its fist. But dawn bows out, and daylight sharpens every protocol like a scimitar polished for ceremony. Each time I approach the throne room, your face glimmers in the gilded latticework, urging caution. My crown grows heavier, weighted with whispers of ministers tallying consequences like accountants of destiny. When night drapes the city in indigo velvet, I unfasten courage from epaulets and slip into the garden, where gardenias bloom so fiercely they seem to burn cold fire. There, alone with constellations, I whisper to Allah that my oath is double-edged, one blade forged for nation, one for love. The answer arrives as a hush in palm fronds, a decree I must write upon myself. Sometimes surrender is the highest form of bravery, and sometimes the desert chooses which caravan may pass. I have no other option but to love you in shadows wider than any ballroom, to compose clandestine verses on the wings of moths that circle lanterns outside your window. If fate refuses my petition in daylight, let the night accept it under a different seal. Let every barred gate know this, bolts cannot restrain the arrow of a poem once released. It will find you like a breeze slipping under a palace door, and you will know I aimed it not to wound but to brand your heart with the quietest possible forever. Though I am bound by signatures inked in indigo on snow-white pages, agreements that splice my heartbeat into clauses, I swear the moment destiny grants a loophole, I shall thread myself through it like silk through a needle's eye. Until then, I will steward my realm with iron steadiness, masking the fracture beneath ermine and emerald. The desert teaches that dunes move infinitely yet appear unchanged. So too will I shift within, grain by aching grain, until the landscape of decree gives way to mercy. Dearest, if the final reckoning decrees that we remain parallel stars in separate constellations, know this, every decree is written in ink, but our names are etched in the bone of time. Seas may evaporate, kingdoms may trade thrones, yet the echo of us will keep blooming in the empty chambers of history like a wild rose pressing through stone. The official chronicle may never mention the secret blossom, but its fragrance will haunt every parchment, every hall, every coronation waltz. And so, cherished audience, remember as you leave this chamber of words that even a prince, armed with legions, laurels, and lineage, can stand powerless before the simple verdict of the heart. I have no other option is not defeat but declaration, a torch raised high in the swirling desert night, daring the wind to extinguish it. Stay tuned. In each future update, we promise to carry forward that flame, sharing every spark of Sheikh Hamdan's soul until the day choice and destiny finally meet beneath the same fountain of stars. Night drags a shawl of onyx across the city, and a restless desert storm unfurls its banner of lightning beyond the courtyard walls. Thunder roars like untamed stallions, yet within those tremors I detect the cadence of vows we traded beneath quieter skies. Each electric crack across the horizon repeats a prophecy. No tempest can dislodge the cornerstone we laid in whispered promises, for we are the architects of calm hidden inside chaos. When the storm relents, I summon the royal jeweler to the moonlit veranda and present a crescent-shaped pearl harvested from Arabian depths. I ask him to craft it into a ring small enough to anchor galaxies yet strong enough to cradle your fingertip. As he bends to his work, I murmur that the design must hint at infinity while bowing to humility, because claiming you as mine is not conquest, but covenant, where power surrenders to tenderness. Years flash forward in a quiet premonition, and I see us seated beneath flowering trees, silver strands in our hair shimmering like lunar dust. Children's laughter orbits us the way planets salute suns, and still my hand seeks yours with the urgency of first love. Time, I realize, is merely a scribe etching the proof of our permanence onto the parchment of skin and memory. Every wrinkle a footnote confirming the thesis we penned at the very beginning, you are always mine. Now, beneath the rekindled hush before dawn, I pen these lines by candle flare and declare them a living treaty between soul and eternity. Should stars collapse and empires crumble to myths recounted by wind, the echo of your name will remain my compass rose, my true north. A huge thanks to each of you for supporting and staying connected. If you are new here, please subscribe to our channel for eternal joy and stay tuned for upcoming videos. Love you all of you. Until then, take care.